Hey everybody, 8-Bit Josh here, and welcome back to Planet Zoo and a new series I'm doing, which I'm calling Planet Zoo Builds. And I wanted to do something. I wanted to start a new series, basically, not stopping Wildlife World, but something in addition to it. And I kind of came to the realization lately that I haven't really been good at uploading stuff to the Planet Zoo workshop. Like my Planet Zoo workshop is way smaller than my Planet Coaster workshop, and so this is my attempt to sort of rectify that. And I thought it'd also be a cool way to start sort of like a fun little new series where you guys can actually see me making the blueprints that I will then upload to the Steam Workshop. So yeah, this is Planet Zoo Builds, and for the first habitat, we're because the South American pack came out last week as of the time that I'm recording this, I thought I would do a Jaguar habitat. So I'm calling it the Jaguar Island, which it's not technically an island because it's not surrounded by water on all sides, but from more or less from, I guess, like the guest point of view, which you'll see when we get there a little bit later. From the guest point of view, it would kind of look like an island. But I just started with like a simple square barrier for the habitat, just to sort of give me an idea of the space I'm working with. And then I kind of went back a little bit later and adjusted kind of the design, the layout, of the habitat, so it's not just a square barrier. I also switch it to the null barrier because that's like my new favorite thing now. I'm doing it a lot in my Planet Zoo series, Wildlife World. I just think the null barriers are so much more fun. The like solid barriers, the concrete, the brick, all of those, they have their place, and I do use those as well. But something about, like, I love doing kind of these like big open air habitats where you use the null barrier in the front where the guests would be, and then maybe I don't know, having like a water feature or like a trench kind of in front of it, and then you just kind of make your own like fence in front of it, and it just gives, I don't know, in my opinion, it just gives a habitat just like so much more, I guess I want to say like realism, or it makes it look more natural. This way the guests they're able to like just see right into the habitat. They don't have any glass or fencing or anything to sort of obscure their view of like the animals. And yeah, so I just think that's just really a lot more fun. So yeah, the Jaguars, they require a lot of climbing structures, so we're gonna do that quite a bit in this habitat. And this is the first piece of that, which is also going to, obviously it's going to be a shelter for them as well, because Jaguars do have a hard shelter requirement. So by the end of this, they'll actually have, I think there's maybe 3, maybe 2 places that are considered hard shelter. Actually, it might be more than that, because really anything that has a roof over it basically will count as a habitat for an animal. So if an animal has a habitat or a hard shelter requirement, if they have a cover over their head, that basically counts as it. And yeah, so I also did this like kind of high-rise protruding like hill here, and then I wanted to connect it up with the different climbing structures. So we have like their little hut in the tree thing there, and then we got the nice kind of walkway that goes over to the rock edge there. I also did like this bit here is just a they can't actually climb over to the rocks on the back there, but they can, a little bit later do put more climbing stuff kind of in the back there. And then here is just more, you know me, like if you've watched enough of my videos, placing rocks and placing trees and plants and all that kind of stuff. That's like my forte. Like I love doing scenery stuff like that. So much more than making like buildings. I do make buildings because it's obviously, you gotta have buildings in your zoos and stuff. But I definitely feel like my strong point is scenery. So I had a lot of fun with that, just placing like the tree at the top there, just to make it feel like, I wanted the habitat to feel really tall as well. I wanted just like different levels and everything, and I think I accomplished that pretty well. I also added the, you can't really see it now, but I added the murky waterfall effect. You can kind of see it there. Because, all great habitats have to have a waterfall feature, right? I think at least half of my habitats in Wildlife World have a waterfall feature. But so here you can see what I was talking about a second ago, the additional like climbing structure there with like the pillars and the poles. And then I did want to make use of, the new like temple pieces. So I do make this like little temple structure. It's just like a little kind of platform thing that the jaguars can go up on, and we put some hay down there so if they want to sleep or whatever. And yeah, this is all traversable. So another thing I try to do, especially with animals that like to have lots of climbing areas, I like to make everything as traversable as possible. So this whole structure is traversable. They can walk up the steps, they can walk down them. They can't go down into the water though, but I wanted to make it look like it steps all the way down into the water, which it does. It was like just a fun little effect. But I really like these ruined temple pieces. They look so good. I was glad that they added those because the temple pieces in the adventure pack in Planet Coaster, I think, were my favorite pieces in the whole game. That was my favorite pack in the whole game as well. I mean, if you are familiar with my channel, I have an entire Planet Coaster park pretty much dedicated to the adventure pack, which I've been terrible at doing. I have not played that in such a long time, but that's kind of that's for another time. But so yeah, there's our kind of completed like little ruined temple platform thing. And then I was just looking at some of the pre-made like climbing structures here to find one that kind of fit, and I stuck with this one, though I did change it up a little bit. I took out all the big like tree trunks and added some stuff from the South America pack. Just wanted to kind of make it look a little bit more fitting. I think the giant logs there are more of like a kind of like a North American kind of vibe, or at least that's what I get from it. So I took those out. I added the kind of timber pieces, and then I added this awesome tree trunk with the moss growing on it to give it like a little extra support there. And then yeah, just going back through and putting around more like bushes and trees and things, and I think it all turned out really, really well. I'm happy with how it looks, and I'm excited for this new kind of series that I plan to start. Let me know as well, like, first of all, is this something that you think you'll enjoy watching as like a continuing series, sort of an addition to Wildlife World? Now these builds are going to be separate from Wildlife World, so we may put some of these in there, we may not, but they're just a completely different, I'm just building these like little one-off habitats. So yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. We're nearing wrapping up this habitat, but definitely let me know, like, if you would like to see more of these videos. What animals would you like me to build habitats for? Because ultimately, like I said, these are going up on the Steam Workshop, so I want it to be stuff that you guys are interested in and would download and put in your own zoos if you want. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I do go back and swap out the concrete barrier for the null barrier, so you get this nice, just kind of straight on view. And then it's really flexible when you put it in your own zoo to kind of decorate the front and do whatever you need to do with it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This has been my first Planet Zoo builds episode. So be sure to leave your comments, suggestions, and feedback down below. I am 8-Bit Josh, and thanks for watching. See ya.